Hey guys, this is April 13th, Monday. So a new week, so we're just going to get started and kind of kick it in here with biology. So what we have today is you have quiz 30 to do first, and so you'll do quiz 30 first. So go ahead, you can pause the video right now and do quiz 30, just go back to the book, answer it. Now once you have quiz 30 finished, I need you to go ahead and read pages 422 through 426. So 422 through 426, go ahead and read that, and then you can pause right here, and then I'll come back and pick it up with you. Alright, so on page 422, now that we have the quiz and the reading done, we'll get started on the actual lesson. This is crustaceans and aquatic arthropods. And so a crustacean, they range in size from wood lice and minute water fleas to lobsters and giant crabs. Even though these creatures vary greatly in size, they all have several things in common, which are 2 pairs of antennae on the front of the body, 2 or more pairs of appendages, a hard, crusty exoskeleton composed of chitin and strengthened by the mineral calcium carbonate, and most often gills for breathing. Most crustaceans inhabit salt water, however some do live in fresh water, and few are terrestrial, which means they live on land. Some crustaceans, crabs, lobsters, prawns, and shrimp are relished as seafood by people, and smaller marine crustaceans are essential components of marine food chains. So that just gives you the definition and kind of a little bit of detail about a crustacean. The next word we need is a crayfish. You've probably heard of these. Some people call them crawfish or crawdads. They inhabit calcium-containing lakes, ponds, rivers, and streams on every continent except Africa and Antarctica. Crayfish are often studied because they are large and have a body structure similar to that of most other crustaceans. Each crayfish has 2 major sections, like the arachnids, the cephalothorax, a combination of the head and thorax, and then a segmented abdomen. So, although a crusty skeleton covers the entire animal, an especially hard outer shell called a carapace provides the vital organs with an additional defense against hungry predators, and then a forward extension of the carapace called the rostrum protects the well-defined head. And so that gives you a couple of the defense mechanisms for your crayfish. So appendages of the head, 2 compound eyes are attached to the head by flexible stalks. Most adult crustaceans have compound eyes. Many species also have additional simple eyes. 2 sets of feelers are also attached to the crayfish's head. The shorter ones are called antennules. At the base of the antennules are sacs that contain the sense organs of hearing and balance, which is a stadiocyte. Without a stadiocyte, a crayfish could not swim upright. The senses of touch, taste, and smell come from the large antenna located behind the antennules. Near the opening of the mouth are the chewing appendages, the larger mandible, and the smaller mandible. So again, looking at the pictures helps us put this together. So if you look at the figure on the bottom of page 422, it gives you the actual figure with the things labeled, and so that's actually what we're actually talking about. So that's a good representation to look at. Appendages of the thorax. The first 3 sets of appendages designed to help the crayfish keep a firm grip on its food are called maxillipeds or jaw feet. Behind the maxillipeds lie a pair of large chelicipeds appendages with pincers, which the crayfish use for seizing prey and for self-defense. The crayfish uses the remaining thoracic appendages, 4 pairs of walking legs, for locomotion. The first 4 walking legs are tipped with small pincers, and the rearmost 4 end in single claws. Beneath the carapace lie several gills that are attached to the base of the crayfish's appendages. And so, although a regenerating new body part takes time, a lost appendage can eventually be totally restored. And so a crayfish can actually restore their body parts. It takes time, but eventually it could actually completely grow back and be restored. Appendages of the abdomen. The crayfish's abdominal appendages, known as swimmerets, are found on the body segment that make up the abdomen. The first 5 pairs of swimmerets are rather small. The female crayfish attaches her eggs to them during reproduction. The swimmerets on the 6th segment form a uropod, which is the crayfish uses for swimming. So a uropod is used for swimming. And then terminating the sixth segment is a flat triangular projection called a telson. This crayfish can dart backward in the water by using its powerful abdominal muscles to whip its uropod and telson forward. So now the internal structure of a crayfish. The digestive system. Most crayfish are predators preying on small marine creatures such as snails and small fish, tadpoles, young insects. However, they're not particularly concerned about their diet, so it can fluctuate. They can eat different things at different times, and so they may also eat plants or decaying animals. Overall, the digestive system of a crayfish is broadly similar to that of insects, but there are many important differences. The crayfish takes in food through its mouth. And so what happens is the swallowed food moves upward through a short esophagus into a section of the stomach known as the gastric meal. This structure serves as a gizzard, which grinds the food into small particles for digestion. The rearmost portion of the gastric meal is guarded by a hair-like structure that forms a sieve, which prevents food from passing into the rest of the stomach until it has been broken down into small particles. The food is then mixed with the gastric juice, and the digestive enzymes break down the food into smaller bits and parts. So the respiratory system there on page 423, you need to make sure you read it. I'm not going to go through that completely, but just need to read through that. Next is the circulatory system. I'm going to skip to down there on page 424 to the green glands. Associated with the crayfish circulatory system are a special excretory organ, which is the green glands, which lie in the front of the stomach and open to the outside near the base of the antenna. These green glands function like kidneys to remove waste from the blood. They also store minerals and make them available to the crayfish when the animal is ready to molt. So before the old skeleton is discarded, the green glands remove its mineral content. So next is the nervous system. So the nervous system of a crayfish consists of a brain, nerves, and several sensory structures. They are organs that are extremely sensitive to smell, touch, and taste, and these are located on the antenna. And small sensory bristles on the appendages and other parts of the body are sensitive to touch. So there you have another bold vocabulary word. It's the stadiocyst. At the base of the antennules contains sensory hairs and grains of sand. With every movement of the crayfish, the grains of sand move, stimulating the sensory hairs and thus enabling the animal to adjust its position and maintain its equilibrium. Each time the crayfish molts, the lining of the stadiocyst is shed with the exoskeleton and the grains of sand are lost. When the new exoskeleton forms, new grains are picked up. So that's the support mechanism there. Next, the life of the crayfish. I'm not going to go into complete detail there either, so you need to read that section on page 424. The life cycle of the crayfish. It just talks about how it's born. It comes from the eggs and kind of matures. So you just need to read through that. Other crustaceans. We'll talk here on page 424 about the woodlouse, commonly called a snow bug, a sow bug, pill bug, or a roly-poly. And these bugs roll into a ball whenever it is disturbed. The crustacean keeps its gills moist by living in damp places. Next, you have brine shrimp. They're found in salt lakes and marshes, and they're commonly used as living food in aquariums. Next, you have barnacles, which are marine crustaceans that attach themselves to rocks, piers, and wharves, and they must be scraped periodically from the ship bottoms. Extinct arthropods, you can read through there. I'm going to look at page 425 there on the very right-hand side. At the bottom it says, one of the more bizarre arthropods that has become extinct since creation was the Anomalocaris. It's a 2-foot-long aquatic predator thought to have swum gracefully through the water, steering small marine creatures with 2 feeding arms and placing them in small round mouth. 2 of the largest known extinct arthropods were a 5-foot-long aquatic sea scorpion and a 6-foot-long land-dwelling centipede. So thank goodness those aren't still here. So that will get us through this lesson. What I need you to do for the book work is do the section review at the top, just the section review today. So the section review, questions 1 through 6. So get those done, and then we'll do some more questions tomorrow. So hope y'all have a good day and see y'all tomorrow.